Hi there everyone, this is Kitten Daddy. I don't usually do videos like this, or anything like this really, but I thought I'd try to set up a little kind of how-to for some of the stuff that Rocksmith does to help you master songs. Um, I haven't found there's a lot of this kind of information out there, and one of the things that was complained about when the game came out was how it was really hard to practice with the tools the way they were. You had like different repeaters, they were mostly useless, and they all had the 5 lives limitation. And obviously, or maybe not obviously, you didn't know this, Ubisoft has actually patched this a couple times now, it's kind of patched a lot of the holes. It's still a little wonky, and there's a lot of kind of undocumented features around it. So I thought I'd just do like a little kind of instructional video for like how the game works now, and how to best use it. Because actually, with the last patch in particular, with the accelerator set speed, it's quite good now. Actually, there's a few areas where you kind of have to work within, like I said, it's a bit wonky, but it is usable and it's actually quite handy. So without further ado, I was just going to talk a little bit about, how to get around and how do you go about like really want to learn a song using this game. And really that for me starts with the Riff repeater tools and such. Now, to find songs, if you didn't know this trick, I actually use events as kind of a filter. Obviously, the management of the navigation is a little slow in places. But if you set up a filter and set up an event with songs you're interested in learning to play, you can actually go, and I've got the event manager here. And in this case, I've set up my events, and you can actually see the songs on the left. I'm not going to go and drill into this, but basically I've added some stuff I'm interested in. Also for this video, I have leveled everything down so you can kind of see the tools working. It's a little different, just to kind of see what each tool is good for and how to use them. So in this one, I'm mostly going to be looking at 6 a.m. Salvation, the bottom one there, and the song Mississippi Queen. So I'm going to first go back out of this. Okay, so from the journey screen, I usually go to the main menu and songs. And now I can just come here to event. This is an event filter. I turn this on, and here's all the songs that I'm working on. So I've got, let's see, I said I'd start with 6 a.m. Salvation. So I'm going to go into that first. And it gives you just the arrangement that you have in the set list, so combo in this case. So I'm going to go to the riff repeater, of course. So now, for the purpose of this, I'm just going to pick a chorus, and I'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so now we're actually at the point where you can see what the options are. So in case you weren't familiar, free speed is basically where you go through and you play it, and it gives you each note, and then it stops and waits for you to play the note, and then it's kind of moves to the next note. For the purpose of actually learning how to play anything, this is pretty much totally useless. So kind of starting with the easy one first, you pretty much never, ever want to use this mode, so skipping ahead. The next one that I'm going to talk about, but I'm not going to dive into right away, is the Accelerator. Now, this is the one that's got the most changes. This is kind of your most flexible practice tool, and you could technically do everything from the Accelerator. By default, right now, the Accelerator does what it originally did. It will start out by kind of giving you, like Free Speed does, the song a note at a time. And that's a little, if you've ever gone through it, it's a little jarring because if you don't hold a bend the whole time, or you don't hold a note the whole time, it stops and it's not really clear what it wants you to do. And that's kind of an awkward process, but it is the only way Rocksmith ever gives you the option to just sit through, in essence, its tab one note at a time. So that's actually somewhat useful on its own as something you can do. And that's actually why you don't really need the free speed at all, because it's covered by the Accelerator. Next thing that they added to Accelerator is Set Mastery. This is where things start getting interesting, because without Set Mastery, really all you're doing is practicing the song at the level it's at, which doesn't level anything, and in some cases is just not very interesting. But the big change, obviously, and the reason I make this video actually, is the Set Speed option, and I'll dive into that a little more detail soon. One of the things about this also is it is actually possible to level things in the Accelerator. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's kind of an undocumented feature of the way it works now. And one thing about this also, in general, in terms of where you use the Accelerator, I find this is pretty much the go-to tool for, you can use it for anything, but especially for harder things, anything you want to learn, all the parts to like at once, solos, arpeggios, any kind of fills, hooks, whatever. It's really good for that. Anything that it kind of takes any kind of thought to play is a good thing to do. For the purposes, now I picked the chorus in this section here. I'm going to talk about the leveler, which is how I'm actually going to level the chorus in this case. So leveler, and all three of these tools now have 30 lives and not 5. It's not great, but it is actually better than 5. A note about the accelerator is the only mode in which you can pretty much play forever. When you repeat or you tell it to restart the accelerator, it replenishes your lives. So if you just want to get in here and practice something, you can even set speed to like 100% and practice it forever. And if you get close to 0 lives, you can just hit restart and it continues going at that way. So similarly, leveler has 30 lives now. It is not possible to replenish them that I'm aware of. If someone knows, feel free to leave a comment. You can basically, this is the simplest, most straightforward way to level a section. If you have an easy section, so I picked the chorus in this case, you can just kind of go through the leveler, play it all the way through, level each section. You can actually set masteries. You can bump straight to the top if you want. If you don't want to wait for it, that's cool. The other thing about leveler is slightly different as accelerator. I mentioned accelerator lets you master things and lets you kind of increase your mastery, but it's very picky. If you don't get a section right in accelerator, like often that means you have to get it perfectly 100% right or near enough. Leveler tends to be more forgiving. So you can miss a couple notes here and there, and you'll still get leveled up on a lot of sections, not all sections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through the leveler, and then I'm going to go through the accelerator and just kind of show you how they're actually, the best ways to use them and how kind of helpful they can be. So without further ado, I'm going to launch the leveler here. I'll let this do its little loading screen. And this is where I try to play something on camera I haven't played in a while. We'll see how that goes. Okay, in tune. That's a good start. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to just walk through the menus real quick within Leveler. All right, so it's going to level me up. So now it's sitting here at 11% mastery. So in case you haven't seen the changes here, resume, restart. In this case, if I make a mistake here, actually, I'll let a live run out so you can see what restart does. Just hit a couple notes, but I'm not going to hit enough. It should fail me. All right, and try again. 29 lives. So now if you restart at this point, it's not actually, I'll let it run a little longer. It's not actually going to replenish your lives. What it does do is, now, oh, I missed a note. I missed another note. I don't think this is the run that's going to do it. I want to save the life. And you start over 29 lives. It can be great on, or can be useful on long sections where you know you screwed up and you don't really want to wait for it to finish for whatever reason. It's not the best thing in the world. Unfortunately, there is no way that I know of to get back to 30 lives this way. So you get 30 failures, basically, and then we'll kick you out if you don't level it. Set mastery. We'll actually set it to the certain level here. So nice thing about set mastery, a couple things, actually. If you're interested in getting the song to 100% mastery, technically you only have to get it one level below. If I hit it at 88%, even if I fail at 100%, it's going to set the level to 100% in the song, because it's going to bring you up to the next level above the one you've got right. So technically, you can get to 100% without ever playing it at 100%. For now, I'm just going to set it like, say, 55%, say. Okay, now at this point, it's mastery 66%. If I were to fail right now, I would say it's 55. So what I'm going to do for the purpose of this, now this is I picked the chorus because it's a relatively straightforward. Obviously, it's a bunch of power chords when you level all the way up. So I'm going to set the mastery, in this case, up to 100%. Might as well. When I complete at this point, it's going to end it no matter what. I don't get a choice to continue. It's just going to finish up. So I'm going to just finish this one up here, and that'll level the chorus. Let's try that now. And there we go, level max. So easy sections like that, leveler can be kind of useful. There's not a lot to it. There's a couple nuanced things, but really not too much. Now, the big change is really the accelerator. So I'm going to spend a little more time on that, and then that's pretty much it for this video. But okay, and master the section, could be. Before that, I'm going to talk a little bit about mastery in general Rocksmith. So I'm going to go, let me jump back out. Unfortunately, there's no way to get back to the song list from here, so I'm going to continue journey, go to the main menu, songs, and events. Now, I'm going to take Mississippi Queen as a good example of this. So, combo arrangements, one I have here. I did a video on that a while back. It's a really fun song if you missed it. They fixed it, so it sounds good now. So, riff repeater. Now, one thing I want to talk about just real quick is the way sections are done. So, I'm going to start keep it on riff for a second. So, for instance, right now you see riff is here. There's also a riff here. There's a riff here. They're all the same section. And similarly, there's let's see here. There's three things called verse as well. If you listen, I'm sure you can hear this pretty well. Okay, that one there sounds different here and different here. Now, the thing with it is some sections actually level all the same sections that have the same name. So even though you may level this verse here, it's going to level this verse and this verse, which sounds great until you're playing the song for the first time and you're like, what is that? You just don't know what you're getting. That's a good thing where you can go through the leveler and actually level the sections up, because it's just good to get that out of the way. But it's probably a good idea to go through in the accelerator and actually try the sections out, each one individually, so you actually know what they look like and how to play them. You will get a credit for quote mastering sections this way, but you're not necessarily going to learn it very well. Another thing to note is if you look up at the top of the display here, it's got solo 2 and up above it 2 highlighted blocks. Solo 3, same thing, 2 highlighted blocks. Riff has got 1. In general, a multi-block, if you got more than 1 block highlighted, it's going to be more forgiving section, and you're going to get benefit from that in the leveler. It's on a single block section, like for instance, I'm going to jump back out here. Let's go back again. All right, so, whoops, one too many. So if I go to, this is one of my favorite songs in the game, 6 AM Salvation, and I look at the sections here, so riff repeater, I'm going to go to check out the solo. See that nice big wide rectangle of doom? That means that you pretty much have to hit it perfectly. So if you're wondering how picky something's going to be, unfortunately the game doesn't really tell you very well, that's one way to tell. So in this case, solo is going to be a monster, and it kind of is. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to go to the hook. This is a reasonably complex section for kind of learning this. And I'm going to load up the accelerator. Now, one thing I mentioned, the accelerator kind of by default is not very useful. I think I'm at like whatever the minimum, because I set it to minimum, mastery is. That mastery, if I were to complete the accelerator at that mastery, I get, I don't know, a warm fuzzy feeling, but nothing actually happens to the song. And the first time you play it right in the song, it's going to level you up and screw you up. So kind of this is the mode where set mastery actually makes the most sense. You're not going to get credit. It's not going to level it up automatically. And you're not going to get credit for anything if you only do it at the defaults. But, maybe I'm like, well, okay, my mastery is set to what, 10 now? Maybe I'd rather learn it at 70, 80. I mean, I'm going to kick it to 100 for the purpose of this. But you can definitely get it up some ways through the accelerator this way. But if you're really looking to master a section, for instance, like stuff like, Godzilla, any of the heavy metal stuff, any of the faster stuff, this is really the only way to really learn it in some ways. So I go to, I'll set mastery to 100. Okay, and now it's going to have me play all these notes again. Now this is the mode I told you about where it basically freezes each note. So if I'm trying to remember, as I might be right now, as I might have forgotten how to play this, how each note is played, then I can kind of just let it stop me each one and just figure out what each note is. So I'm going to hit that in there. And see how I messed it up there. Okay, so now it's giving me a starting speed. Now, this mode I'm in right now, this is the default mode. This is basically without the set mastery, without set speed. What it's going to try to do is it's going to try to finish the section and just level it up. Or rather, just finish the section, get me to 100% mastery, and then be done. If I were to hit restart at any point during this process, what it's going to do is it's going to replenish my lives. I'm going to go from whatever I'm at, maybe say I'm like 15 lives in. I restart it, and it's going to make me do the calculated starting speed again. So the thing you just saw will happen again. It can be useful if you're like playing through this and you're like, I just don't know what that note is. You can kick it to resume acceleration if you're not in that mode, and then restart, and you'll be able to see all the notes again. So that can be handy. The other thing you can do is you can do what I often like to do with songs like this. Say, I really want to learn how to play this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to set speed, and I'm going to set it to 80%, say. All right? Now, I've got 30 lives. I'm playing this at 80% speed. Let's see. Now notice, yeah, I got that right. I still have 30 lives. The only way this mode tells you if you've got it right, I'm going to miss it this time, you'll be able to see a difference. The only way this mode tells you whether you have it right or not is it will restart, but you won't get penalized a life. So it does kind of indicate when you've done well. That's when you fail it, try again, the live's 29. So now I'm going to see if I can talk while I do this. Probably not. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Got that right again. So what I'm going to do, this is kind of the way I usually do this, is I go set speed, and if you're getting overwhelmed, if you're like, oh my god, that's too fast, you can drop it down any time, and this is totally at your own pace. But before I'm going to set speed, I'm going to back this out here. I'm going to say, you know, I don't like having 29 lives, so if I hit restart now, 30 lives. So you can kind of basically replenish your lives as much as you want. I'm going to set speed up here. Let's set it to 95%, say. I'm going to play through this here. Okay, I made a mistake there, obviously. And it's Accelerator, so it's picky, so let's try again. Okay, I got it that time. So now say, well, that's cool, I can play this at 95% speed, and I can continue to do that at 100% speed, but what I want to really do is level it up. So what I'm going to do is say, resume acceleration. Now at this point, it's going to take the lives you have, and the speed you have, and the mastery you have, and it's going to basically just jump back into the default mode. So it's going to try to speed you up all the way. Now, if you finish this at 100% speed, at a higher mastery than you started, it will actually level up the song and save it in the game. I'll demonstrate that now. I'm going to resume it, let it play me at 95, and then hopefully 100. Okay, that's 95. Let's see if I can do it now. And now it's going to actually complete the accelerator. It's a nice little animation here. And think about things a little bit and tell me I can play guitar. Thank you. Mastered the section. So now at this point when I go back, I'm going to go back to the sections here. Actually, let me go back. I'm going to go back in the riff repeater. Notice the hook is leveled. And the chorus from my earlier thing's leveled. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to back out of this. So this is pretty much it. So I just wanted to kind of do something like this. I hadn't seen anything of this sort before. There's a lot of this information is kind of like lore. You can get it through like forums and stuff like that. Actually, the Ubisoft official forums, there's a really nice community of people there. I'm actually on that forum as Kitten Daddy 2. And you know, feel free to come by, say hi, talk to the people there. They also run a weekly challenge thread that's actually a lot of fun. And you know, it's just if you were on the fence about this game and you were like, well, you know, I heard the practice tools kind of suck and don't really want to play it, they fixed it. It's good. It's a little wonky in places. You kind of have to know the nuance of how it works, but hopefully this is some help to that. So thank you for listening and watching, and hope this has helped someone. Thanks.